Good morning, everybody. I'm Dave Furtado.
And I'm meteorologist Jefferson Donovan.
And Jefferson, I gotta ask, how much colder did it get overnight? Because when I stepped out the door this morning, it was notably chillier than it was yesterday.
It was definitely chillier this morning than overnight last night into yesterday morning, and we're even going to be looking at colder temperatures overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. That is going to continue to be a common theme of conversation over at least the next couple of days. As we are waking up in the Tri-Cities, you can't see too much right now because it is dark outside. There are some clouds overhead this morning, but in general, we are going to be looking at a mostly sunny day. 38 degrees right now in the Tri-Cities as opposed to some of the 40s that we were talking about yesterday. But again, this afternoon is going to be a calm and seasonal day. The winds that were so stiff the last couple of days going to subside today. It's going to be a pretty nice day of weather in general. Now, this is what I was just talking about. Overnight tonight, low temperatures will be nearing that freezing mark as we go into the overnight hours tonight into tomorrow morning. But then a warming trend does start tomorrow. We'll talk about all three of these weather headlines coming up.
Thanks, Jefferson. We begin this morning in Benton County. Firefighters are working to determine what started a large fire near Benton City that destroyed several buildings. It's just north of Benton City at North Harrison Loop and State Route 225. So far, there's no word of any injuries, but several outbuildings and at least one unoccupied home have been damaged by the fire. Officials believe the fire burned about 20 acres, but it's now contained.
Biggest concerns, of course, is firefighter safety and civilian safety. When we got here for fire attack, we had to switch into rescue mode, more or less, just to take care of the citizens' health and their well-being first. Unfortunately, that allowed the fire to progress a little bit more.
Firefighters from several agencies stayed on scene for some time to investigate the fire and put out any flare-ups. And the Kennewick Fire Department was dispatched to the 1300 block of Cascade Street just before 3:10 yesterday afternoon after reports of an RV on fire. Arriving crews saw smoke and fire coming from the home that was next to the RV. Officials say they searched the building, finding it to be empty, adding that the home was a total loss. Crews were able to contain the blaze in about 30 minutes, but they remained on scene for several hours to monitor hotspots and to overhaul the home. Fire investigators believe that the cause of the blaze was from exposure to outdoor burning on the property. There were no injuries reported. And West Valley firefighters are sending out a reminder to be extra careful when you're burning anything. These are two photos of brush fires that West Valley Fire tackled on Sunday. They say embers from one fire were blown into some dry vegetation, which resulted in a brush fire. Now, fire leaders say if you're doing any burning outside, to make sure your fire is completely out and cold to the touch before you leave. Also, if it's windy out, you're better off waiting for a calmer day to do your burning. 3 Valley Fire Departments are hoping for your yes vote for levy lid lifts on the August 6th ballot. The departments are participating in the departments participating are West Valley Fire, Highland Fire Department, and East Valley Fire Department. Now, the departments are looking to increase the fire levies for their districts, and leaders from East Valley Fire tell us what the impacts would be if the levy doesn't pass.
There would be a definite impact on services that the community would feel. We would probably be laying people off within 2 years, which potentially could mean we don't have one of the stations staffed all the time, 24/7, like we do now.
East Valley Fire's levy would return back to the 2018 levy lid lift by collecting $1.42 per $1,000 of assessed property value, with a 5% inflator each year, effective in 2025. West Valley is looking to raise theirs to $1.14. And we've reached the end of another parking debate cycle as Yakima City Council members approved their latest rule changes to downtown parking. KIMA's Hunter Phipps explains what's changing and spoke to one council member who voted against the changes.
Brown?
Yes.
Byers?
Yes.
DCO?
Yes.
Is the third time the charm?
It was a timely process, but I think very effective. I think we've reached something that everybody feels comfortable with. And
It's taken 3.5 months, but we've finally reached another revamp of Yakima City parking rules for the third time since 2021. So once the summer months roll around, these new rules will apply in this boundary map you see. Free parking will last up to 3 hours in the downtown parking lots and 2 hours on the streets. If you want to buy a monthly pass, you will only have to pay $20, giving you access to 40% of spaces in downtown lots. Most parking violations will now only cost you $20.
I really hope this works well for our business community and builds that trust back that we need.
But only one council member chose to vote.
Nope.
And that was Reedy Berg from District 7, who says his decision was based on conversations he's had with downtown business owners.
The consensus was about a 15 to 20% decline in sales when parking was enforced. And so I'm here to promote small business, work with them, do what I can. And so that's why I voted no on those.
But regardless, a new set of rules will be enforced as the temps rise, so now it's a matter of getting the word out.
That there's free 2-hour parking on the streets and free parking on in the lots.
You won't have to worry about new downtown parking rules for now, as council decided to extend the moratorium on parking rules until the end of May. So when that suspension expires, the new rules will go into effect on June 1st. In downtown Yakima, I'm Hunter Phipps, Action News.
KIMA's Hunter Phipps, thank you. And 9-year-old Yakima chef Asher Niles continues his fight in the MasterChef Junior Kitchen as he competed in the latest Mystery Box Challenge. This week, the remaining 7 chefs had to cook a dish with an ingredient that they don't like. And for Asher, it was anchovies. Asher decided to make a homemade pasta with an anchovy tomato sauce and anchovy garlic bread. Even though he didn't win the best dish, he was still recognized as one of the top 4 and remains in the competition.
Rolling out the pasta was amazing. That sauce was, it was so good. Incorporating the anchovies, I was like, that's such a good idea. We're in top 6, baby!
And a reminder that Asher will throw out the ceremonial first pitch later today at the Seattle Mariners game against the Cincinnati Reds. The first pitch for that game is at 1:10 p.m. That's pretty cool. That's awesome. I think that's probably, aside from the fact that he's, kicking butt, if you will, on the on that competition, he's also getting some really cool opportunities with some sporting events and things like that. It's really
awesome.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's jump right over to weather, though, because it might be a decent day to get out the door to toss the old pigskin around, maybe the baseball, whatever it may be. Temperatures are going to be on a warming trend, though, right?
That's right. Yesterday was the coolest day, and now we are going to start our slow trend upwards. We're going to be about 2 to 3 degrees warmer today than yesterday, and then we're going to see an even greater warming trend Thursday through the weekend. Now, here's what you can expect for today. Mostly sunny skies around the forecast area. Partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies, I should say, with upper 50s to low 60s for virtually everyone. Now, what I just referenced was a larger warming trend starting as soon as tomorrow. We'll talk about who could see highs in the mid-60s and when 70s might return. That's coming up.
Thanks, Jefferson. The time now is 5:09. Coming up on KEPR this morning, some state news and the rise in anti-Semitic incidents nationwide, breaking a record last year and right here in our region. In about 2 minutes, we head to the west side to see what local organizations are dealing with. But later in the show, national news and the latest in the Middle East. The Israeli War Cabinet met for the 3rd time since Iran's weekend attack. Netanyahu is planning for a response, but officials expect it to be limited. And bacterial vampirism is what researchers are calling a phenomenon seen with some of the world's deadliest bacteria. It comes from a Wazoo study they hope will lead to new treatments for bloodstream infections. There's much more coming up here on Action News. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere.